the female protagonist of this anime. Akiko has a brother complex. Every night, she will sneak into the bed of her brother, Akito. However, there are so many beauties surrounding Akito that Akiko must compete with 5 beautiful girls to win her brother's favor. From the hot student council president to the sexy office worker, their biggest dream is to marry Akito. How will the relationships between them develop? Let's reveal it in today's recap. Akiko, the female protagonist, embarks on a solo subway journey to Majiro to reunite with her brother Akito. It's been quite a while since she last saw him. After their parents' death, they were raised separately by different relatives. Now, after leaving their foster families, they have the opportunity to live together once more. Akito lives in a student dormitory at St. Liliana High School. When Akiko knocks on the door, he is ready to go out to pick her up at the station. The moment he sees Akiko, he is pleasantly surprised. The siblings are meeting again after 6 years, and they are looking forward to living together. It's worth noting that the reason they can now live together in the student dormitory is that Akito transferred to Akiko's school. Akiko's luggage arrived earlier than expected, and they spend the entire day organizing their belongings and cleaning the room. Concerned about his sister's fatigue, Akito advises her to take a bath first. Little does he know that Akiko's feelings for him go well beyond sibling love. While she showers, she secretly hopes Akito will take a peek at her in the bathroom. However, as he doesn't come, she feels quite disappointed. After taking a bath, Akiko asks Akito why he is not interested in her hot body. Akito can't understand his sister's thoughts. They are siblings, and he thinks that only perverts will peep at their sisters. But Akiko is immovable. She claims that if Akito doesn't come to peek at her, she won't leave the bathroom. In the end, Akito keeps the bottom line between the siblings and does not enter the bathroom. Akiko's frustration reaches its peak when Akito comes to deliver her luggage. She makes a request. She suggests that if Akito sleeps in the same room with her at night, she will forgive him. Akito reminds her that they are both 16 years old and cannot share the same bed. To Akiko's surprise, she misunderstands his words, thinking he means they can have intimate interactions at other places. She eagerly anticipates becoming a real couple with her brother and is willing to have intimate relationships with her brother wherever he wants. Akito quickly clarifies that he only wants to sleep alone. As siblings, they will never have an intimate relationship. Akiko doesn't give up. In order to make Akito like her, she not only wears a t-shirt with "I love my sister" printed on it, but also prepares breakfast for him. She tells Akito that the brother complex is a very rare form of love and wants him to face up to this rarity. Akito is reluctant to engage in meaningless discussions with Akiko and always interrupts her when she is speaking. Akiko, however, thinks it's a sign of their love for each other, and Akito has fallen into her trap without noticing. Despite Akito consistently rejecting her, Akiko cherishes the time they spend together. She appreciates how Akito took her away from her foster family and gathers the courage to express her affection. Surprisingly, Akito reciprocates her feelings, leaving Akiko overwhelmed with shyness, causing her to faint. Living with Akito brings her immense joy, and it feels like a dream coming true. However, she never anticipated that 3 other girls also reside in the old student dormitory. They are Arashi, the president of the student council, Anastasia, the vice president, and Jinbi, the accountant. Akiko, as the secretary of the student council, is very familiar with them, but she has a very serious brother complex and does not want him to have contact with other girls. What she can't accept the most is that they all fall in love with Akito. Even when they eat together, they will fight for the place next to Akito. Akiko takes Akito as her possession, and she thinks that only she is qualified to sit next to Akito. In the face of true love, it doesn't matter though they are blood related. Arashi disagrees with Akiko's idea and suggests that she ask Akito first. When Akito says he cherishes and loves Akiko, Akiko can't help but start fantasizing about their marriage. Unexpectedly, Akito immediately gives a qualification. That is, his love for her is only the love between siblings. This is undoubtedly bad news for Akiko, but she insists that even if he is her brother, it is fine as long as she loves him. In reality, Akiko's brother complex is heavily influenced by a novelist. She adores the author's works portraying sibling relationships and frequently daydreams about being a couple with Akito. One day, as Akiko bursts into laughter while reading the novel, Akito enters her room and discovers the book she's enjoying. Due to the slightly suggestive cover, Akiko worries that her brother might misunderstand and quickly clarifies that it's a literary piece about sibling love. She even reads a passage from the book to him. However, Akito interrupts her, expressing his respect for her reading hobby but kindly asking her not to read such material in front of him. Akiko agrees to his request. But what she doesn't know is that Akito is her favorite author. Jino, Akito's editor, admires him. After receiving his newly created works about siblings, she is pleasantly satisfied. Hearing her compliment, Akito can't help but think of Akiko. For him, writing such novels is only a way of making a living, and he still can't accept Akiko. Since Akito transferred to the new school, Akiko has been frequently visiting his class to find him. Akiko is very direct and tries to convince Akito to be her boyfriend every day. Even when Akito turns her down, she remains persistent. Apart from Akiko, 3 other girls also start their actions. The first girl to approach Akito is Anastasia, who invites him to join her for a picnic on the upcoming weekend. As a tsundere girl, she always acts like she doesn't want to spend time with Akito, but in reality, she secretly desires to have a date with him. Despite her pretense, Akito eventually agrees to her request. The second girl is Jinbi. She gives Akito the cookies she made in her cooking class. Akito loves these cookies very much. He and Jinbi have known each other for 6 years, and Jinbi knows Akito's taste for food very well. The third girl is Arashi. In the name of the president of the student council, she calls Akito to the student council office. She has a clear purpose. That is, she wants to have intimate interactions with him here. At this time, Akiko, Jinbi, and Anastasia break into the office and stop her. Akiko considers herself the closest person to Akito. When Akito has not yet adapted to the new environment, she is the most suitable person to accompany him. Arashi, however, believes that the reason why Akito can't integrate into his new class is that Akiko always visits him between classes. Akiko realizes her mistake and decides not to go to find Akito as often. The battle for Akito's affection is far from over. One day, Akiko asks Akito to help her replace the light bulb in her room. During their conversation, Akiko unintentionally reveals her true intentions. She plans to surprise Akito from behind while he changes the light bulb. She suggests that if Akito enjoys being dominant in their intimacy, she can take the role of being weak. However, Akito flatly rejects her proposition. Unexpectedly, when he is about to collect clothes, they start to argue because of underclothes. Akiko doesn't mind Akito peeking at her private parts, but she doesn't want him to treat her underclothes like normal clothes. Anastasia overhears their conversation, but she is very tolerant of Akito. No matter what he does to her underclothes, she can accept it. At this time, Jinbi notices that Arashi's underclothes are missing. Arashi explains that she accidentally lost it. If Akito wants to see it, she can take her clothes off right away. Unexpectedly, before she can act, a gust of wind suddenly blows around her. To prevent Akito from seeing Arashi's private part, Akiko covers his eyes immediately. Afterward, Anastasia asks Akito to help her tidy up her belongings. She comes from a wealthy family and never did any housework. Therefore, after she moved to the dormitory, she never sorted out her luggage. Akito sees this as a good opportunity for her to learn to do housework and offers to guide her. With their joint efforts, Anastasia's room gradually becomes tidy. In the last piece of her luggage, there are various dolls. She worries that Akito might think her childish, so she tries to hide them from him. However, Akito is delighted to see this side of her and finds it adorable. Anastasia feels quite bashful, and she seems to be growing fonder of Akito. Determined to become Akito's girlfriend, she confesses her feelings during their lunch break. Akiko is afraid of them becoming a couple and constantly interrupts them with strange noises, but she never expects Anastasia to push Akito to touch the softest part of her body. Because Akiko and Akito are so anxious, Anastasia has to say she was just joking. Nevertheless, she doesn't give up on Akito and believes that Akito will eventually develop feelings for her. Akito doesn't know what Anastasia is thinking. After school, he buys a cake for Jinbi and offers to go to her room for tea, intending to express his gratitude towards Jinbi, because Jinbi transferred to St. Liliana High School with him for going to school together, and he feels very happy to have Jinbi as a good friend. During this period, Akito compliments Jinbi's new clothes and thinks she is very cute. Overly shy, Jinbi accidentally spills the tea on her clothes. Akito, worrying that Jinbi will scald herself, hurriedly wipes her clothes, but accidentally touches her private part. As a result, Jinbi slaps him. After leaving Jinbi's room, Akito helps Anastasia rearrange the room. Anastasia warns Akito not to tell others about her love of collecting dolls. Akito, however, thinks it's normal to like dolls and tells her not to think too much. Just as Akito is about to leave, Anastasia stops him. She purposely eats a banana in front of him, implying that he should get closer to her. Then, she playfully acts as if she slips on a banana peel and jumps onto Akito. However, the simple Akito only finds Anastasia's behavior quite peculiar today, unsure of her intentions. This leaves Anastasia feeling quite frustrated. When Akito asks if she's feeling unwell, she hastily runs away in embarrassment. Later, because Akito refuses to bathe with the girls decide to help bathe each other. Arashi specially prepares 2 bottles of shower gel, but she accidentally takes the lotion as a shower gel, so she has to ask Akito to bring the shower gel. When Akito arrives at the door of the bathroom, he is too shy to come in, so Jinbi heads to get the shower gel. Because the floor is too slippery, she accidentally falls on Akito. Seeing Jinbi without clothes, Akito feels very shy. In the following story, Akito receives a call from Jino, who invites him to write a short story and asks him to meet on Sunday to discuss it. During this time, Jino hears Akito's voice and learns that he has a sister. Because Akito has been working on novels about siblings, Jino worries that he really falls in love with his sister. To help Akito get out of this forbidden relationship, Jino decides to find a way to gain his favor. On the meeting day, inspired by a women's magazine, Jino purposely dresses in a very alluring outfit, intending to get closer to Akito. She tries several seductive poses, but none of them seem to attract Akito's attention. The way Jino speaks and acts feels so familiar to Akito, reminding him of a magazine he read before. When he takes out the magazine, Jino quickly clarifies that she's just concerned about Akito having a romantic relationship with his sister. Akito firmly assures her that he won't confuse reality with fantasy and swears he has no romantic feelings for his sister. However, Jino can sense that Akito cares deeply for his sister, which leaves her somewhat suspicious. When Akito returns to his dormitory, he is blocked in the warehouse by Arashi. To make matters worse, Akiko mistakenly thinks there is no one inside and locks the door of the warehouse. Arashi sees this as a great opportunity and intends to force Akito into intimacy with her. Akito has really weak strength. Every time he escapes, he will be captured by Arashi. At this time, Akito notices that the clay pot on the shelf is falling and hurriedly pushes Arashi away, causing Arashi to be very impressed. A few days later, Jino receives the short work done by Akito. She is moved by his delicate words and once again suspects that he is a siscon. To confirm whether Akito has a sister complex, Jino comes to his residence to investigate. Akito does not disclose his authorship, and the girls only know that she is Akito's partner in business. Since Akiko is absent, Jino takes the initiative to inquire whether Akito is heavily fond of his sister. Surprisingly, all the girls agree, but Akito has always denied it. Just as Akiko returns to the dormitory, he suggests that Jino ask Akiko for her opinion. Akiko doesn't think Akito is obsessed with her, but she openly admits that she has a brother complex, and her biggest dream is to make Akito more attached to her. Akito doesn't directly respond to Akiko's feelings, but he can't resist teasing her a little. The girls have grown accustomed to seeing the playful interactions between the siblings, but they don't want them to become an actual couple. Akito's and Akiko's rooms are separated by only one door, in order not to leave them alone together. Arashi proposes they live separately. Akito is very supportive of Arashi's opinion and takes the initiative to move to a room far away from Akiko. While he is sorting out his belongings, many memories about him and his sister flood into his mind. He returns to his previous room and finds Akiko waiting for him. He can't help but touch Akiko's face, swearing that he will love her forever. Later, Arashi finds a dormitory administrator, Arisa, a talented girl with excellent intelligence. Because Akito was once fostered in Arisa's house, he can be considered Arisa's older brother, but she has another identity, Akito's fiancé. Arisa is 4 years younger than Akito, and besides her cute appearance, she is skilled in various household chores. Everyone, except Akiko, is fond of her, hoping for them to have a good relationship. Akito tells her that Arisa used to help him a lot. To him, Arisa is like a biological sister. However, Akiko sees herself as Akito's only sister, and with Arisa constantly claiming to be Akito's fiancé, she feels that Arisa is a threat to her position. Although she doesn't hate Arisa, they are rivals in love and can't be friends. Because Akiko has been reluctant to accept Arisa, Arashi suggests that they have a competition. If Arisa wins, Akiko must make peace with her. Akiko agrees, proposing that they compete on who knows Akito better. But all she can think about is what happened when they were children. Arisa has lived with Akito for 6 years and knows Akito better than Akiko does now. After the competition, Akiko admits that she lost to Arisa. She can accept Arisa as the dormitory administrator, but she can't give Akito to her. At this time, Arisa suspects whether Akiko can fall in love with her blood-related brother. She reminds Akiko that she can't like Akito, either legally or ethically. These words are a great blow to Akiko, but she refuses to give up on Akito no matter what. Akiko and Arisa have a fierce argument, and neither of them wants to lose to the other. Finally, they decide to let Akito make a choice between them. Akito compliments them separately and says he can't choose any of them. They are all his sisters, and he will treat them fairly. After being rejected by Akito, Akiko comes to the realization that she and Arisa share the same predicament. They are the ones in the world who know and adore Akito the most. However, being Akito's sister renders these advantages meaningless. Akiko believes they should team up against other girls who have feelings for Akito. Arisa fully supports her notion, and they set aside their animosity toward each other. Before the arrival of summer, the girls come to the mall to buy swimsuits. Except for Jinbi. Every girl chooses their favorite swimsuit. Jinbi is very inferior because of her bad figure, and she doesn't think she needs to wear a swimsuit. Akiko is very good at choosing swimsuits. She tells Jinbi that there are many different types of swimsuits out there. As long as she chooses the right swimsuit for herself, she can make her body look more perfect. With her help, Jinbi changes into a very cute swimsuit. Back in the dormitory, the girls hold a swimsuit contest and ask Akito to go to their rooms to appreciate them in turn. This is a very sweet torture for Akito. More surprisingly, Arashi wears nothing to show off her hot body. Akito can't choose between them and can only decide that all of them win. Shortly after, Akito catches a cold and has to request Chino for a deadline extension. The girls have a heated argument over the chance to take care of Akito. Arashi suggests that everyone should take turns to look after him. Surprisingly, her suggestion sparks a desire in others to compete and show who can provide the best care for Akito. The first to take care of Akito is Arisa. She prepares hearty food as well as some apparently extravagant folk remedies. Akito is shocked at these remedies, but he still follows Arisa's instructions. Then, it's Anastasia's turn. She is not good at taking care of sick people and keeps asking Akito what he needs. However, Akito simply wants to rest and doesn't pay much attention to her. Anastasia becomes desperate to kiss Akito and asks him to close his eyes. Unfortunately, before she can do so, her intention is uncovered. Feeling embarrassed, she quickly runs away. Akiko is the third one. She gently strokes Akito's hair and makes him lie on her lap. She is very fond of Akito and vows to be by his side forever. The last one is Jinbi. Seeing Akito fall into a deep sleep, she doesn't disturb him. During then, she hears Akito talking in a dream about their childhood, which reminds Jinbi of their first encounter. When Akito first moved to Kyoto, he left a bad impression on Jinbi, who found his smile insincere. However, Akito was interested in her and suggested becoming friends. Upon learning about Akito's wish to make friends, Jinbi shared the news with other male students in the class. With her assistance, Akito made many friends. Nonetheless, he only sought to be friends with Jinbi and was determined to gain her approval. To keep Akito away from her, Jinbi helped him win the favor of his female classmates. But when she saw Akito being pestered by her female classmates, she became very irritable. No matter how cold Jinbi was to him, Akito refused to give up. During Jinbi's absence to avoid Akito, he took the chance to break into her home. He had a hunch that Jinbi must be furious, so he suggested fighting with her, hoping it would help her release her emotions. Despite losing to Jinbi in the end, they developed a strong friendship. It's noteworthy that Akito wanted to be friends with her because he initially thought she was a boy due to her boy-like name. Although the misunderstanding was later cleared up, Akito still treated her as a boy. Jinbi was always concerned about this matter and tried to change his perception. As the memories end, Akito also recovers. The girls ask Akito who gave him the best care. Unexpectedly, Akito chooses Arashi because she put a wet towel on his forehead. As a reward for winning the competition, Arashi has the opportunity to be alone with Akito. Unexpectedly, Arashi shows a completely different side. She takes off the blindfold in front of him and becomes very beautiful and elegant. Later, Anastasia gets into trouble. After showering, she realizes that her underwear is missing. Suddenly, she hears Arisa screaming for help. Without a second thought, Anastasia rushes to Arisa's aid without wearing any underwear. Arisa insists that she saw a group of unidentified objects and is terrified. Akito jokingly suggests that what she saw might be a supernatural creature, and the girls become quite frightened. After discussing it, they decide to investigate the area nearby. However, they search around and find nothing out of the ordinary. On the way back, they come across a wall. As long as they climb over this wall, they can quickly reach the dormitory. The girls can't climb over walls, and Akiko thinks they can ride around Akito's neck. The other girls are very happy, and only Anastasia feels very shy because she doesn't wear underclothes. After that, they are frightened by the crow and accidentally get separated. While alone with Akiko, Anastasia recalls the first time she and the Akito siblings met. In 5th grade, Akiko transferred to St. Liliana Academy Elementary School. Anastasia found Akiko very cute and wanted to be friends with her. But she, as a tsundere girl, found it difficult to say her true thoughts. After 6 years, Akito enrolled in their school. Anastasia got wind of the sibling story and became curious about why Akiko had feelings for Akito. Upon meeting Akito, Anastasia developed a fondness for him. However, she struggled to express her true feelings and often resorted to playful remarks. She assured Akito that she tended to say odd things when nervous and asked him not to take her words seriously. She felt delighted to be friends with the siblings. The memories end here. Anastasia asks Akiko what she will do if she can't find her underclothes one day. Akiko says that she will go to a convenience store and buy it, or wear a swimsuit instead, etc. To thank Akiko, Anastasia kisses her on the cheek. At this time, a gust of wind blows over, causing Akiko to accidentally see Anastasia's private part. Akiko comes to Anastasia's rescue when she finds her in an awkward situation and covers her to go back to her student dormitory. Suddenly, a group of stray cats runs from the bushes, accompanied by peculiar green flames. Frightened, the girls decide to sleep with Akito at night. However, Akito feels embarrassed when he wakes up to find Arisa sleeping naked. To match Arisa's boldness, Arashi insists that everyone takes off their underclothes, leaving Akito both pleased and annoyed. At the end of the story, Akito still studies and lives with 5 beautiful girls every day. Interestingly, Akito has been silently keeping a secret that he and Akiko are not blood related. Afraid that Akiko will become even more crazy when she learns the truth, he decides to keep the secret forever. Despite not being aware of it, Akiko continues to fantasize about having close and affectionate moments with Akito. For her, love is all that matters, even if he is her brother. And the story ends here. Having created so many works with sibling themes, Akito is unlikely to reject sibling love. I think he rejects Akiko because they are not blood related and she isn't the sister he wants. I really want to criticize the perverted personality of the male protagonist, but both as a pervert, he and Akiko are very compatible. Maybe that's the way the world is. No matter how strange you are, there must be someone who understands you. Well, that's all for today's recap. Don't forget to like this video to help my channel out. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel. Your support is what motivates me to keep updating my videos. Bye!